Hello everybody, happy Halloween. This is the first time I'm recording myself with my phone, at least for YouTube purposes, not for personal family video purposes. It's a beautiful day outside, just the perfect level of coolness, just a little chill. The trees are changing color, sunny, I love it. It is Halloween, which is one of my family's favorite holidays. My wife and I adore it. However, for us writer types, it's also an even more important holiday, All Nano's Eve. And as such, I thought I would film a kind of encouragement and motivation video on this eve of the National Novel Writing Month. Personally, I'm not doing Nano this year. My current project that I've been working on for about 2 years now just doesn't work well for Nano. However, I still definitely want to, encourage the people who are doing Nano. It's an awesome thing to do. I know it's a hard thing to do. I'm here for you. I hope you do fantastic. I hope you tackle all of your goals and hit them out of the park. I hope you really enjoy the month. Don't drive yourself crazy, but I thought I would give you some tips and kind of reflections on my experiences when I've tried to Nano before. I've only tried NaNoWriMo once in the past. It was a year in college when I had just started to realize that writing was something I could actually do and that I could potentially make money from eventually. And I had tried to write a few things but never really gotten off the ground, and I really needed the motivation to finish a first draft. Back then I was still trying to discovery write. I hadn't learned about outlining and all of the processes I've developed since then, and as such my chapters tended to be rambly, and I had trouble when I sat down to write not knowing where I was going, and that not knowing just made it difficult to take the next step. So I thought Nano would be a great chance to push myself to produce. And it was. It was fantastic. It was the most productive I've been that I ever was without an outline. And I was doing well and I was on target. And about 2 weeks into November, I had a rough week at college. Just a lot of tests and stuff. I started to skip behind. But my following week was going to be much easier, and I was planning on track to hit my targets again, to hit the NaNoWriMo and win it. And that was when my laptop died. Now, unfortunately, I could not afford just to go out and buy a new laptop right away. My idea was to wait until Black Friday sales at the end of November. However, that meant I didn't have a laptop to work on until the end of November, and that project ended up getting scrapped because I didn't have it for Nano and I didn't have that motivation. So I have done Nano before, or have tried, while I haven't actually won it. So hopefully some of these tips and thoughts will be beneficial to you. Know that they're not coming from a place of total ignorance. My first Nano tip is to get ahead early. You only have to write 1,667 words per day to win Nano, but the key to Nano is fast drafting. You want to write as much as you can, as quick as you can, and that means don't worry about editing, get the words on the page, and move on. You never know what your tomorrow is going to be like, so take that into consideration with what you're doing today. At the end of the month, we're going to have Thanksgiving for Americans. There's all sorts of holidays and family get-togethers. It's going to be busy. Nothing's stopping you from writing, 2,000 words a day. If you can manage it, 2,500 words a day. So my first tip is to start off by writing as much as you can this first week. Get ahead. On the flip side, you do want to build in some rest time. So figure out how many days are in the month, figure out how many days off you want. If you only want to write during the weekdays, perhaps, You know, count up how many weekdays you have that aren't Thanksgiving, because you know you're not going to get any writing done on Thanksgiving, at least if you're anything like me. And then figure out how much you have to write per day. And beyond that, I would add maybe 10% onto that number. That way you'll have some flex time for days when you just are having a lot of trouble writing. That way you will be able to, you know, fall back on the buffer you've already built yourself, rather than having to make that up later. My second tip for Nano is to remember your backups. I think one of the worst things that could happen during this month for writers is if all of your progress disappears. It's a horrible, horrible situation that you do not want to find yourself in. So remember to back up all of the stuff you write. Don't just save it in one document, and don't just save your documents to one place. You can use Google Docs for free. You can just copy your stuff at the end of the day over to there. You can save it onto a flash drive or an external hard drive. Just make sure you're doing at least 2 things, please. And my final tip is to remember what should be your primary goal during Nano. Obviously, the overall goal is to hit that coveted 50,000 words, to finish a full novel length word count of writing in a month. However, the more important thing, in my opinion, is just to make progress. As long as you're working on your writing and you're getting better and you're making progress, even if you don't technically win Nano, you're still winning at writing, which is a more important goal, in my opinion. You're working towards your goals, you're achieving your dreams, and at the end of the day, that's more than most people do. So feel proud of that achievement. I know the last thing I wanted to leave you here with on that note is to, you know, don't feel afraid to chase those dreams. I know when I'm writing, when I started, I had a lot of self-conscious issues. A lot of issues thinking, you know, this story's crap, my writing isn't good, what's the point of even trying, that kind of thing. And I think a lot of writers do go through that kind of mindset. But there was one, I guess you could call it a quote, a speech, that really got me through. So I just wanted to end this video by sharing that piece of motivation with you, because I really do think that I wouldn't be where I am if I hadn't found this speech, and I hope that it can be your kind of Nano motivation, your mantra throughout the month. So this is The Man in the Arena from Theodore Roosevelt. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who, at the best, knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who, at worst, at least fails by daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. Thank you all for hanging out with me on this special video. I hope you all have a great November, a great Nano, and a safe Halloween. Love you all. Have a good one.